Welcome everyone and welcome to the lecture number 9 of the lengthy chapter which we were discussing from last week onwards, that is the animal kingdom. And this is gonna be the lecture number 9 of this chapter, which is gonna be the final chapter or the final lecture of this chapter, Animal Kingdom. So in today's class, we would be discussing about 4 different classes. Since in the last class, we discussed already about the class Pisces, which includes 2 different groups, class Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes in yesterday's class. So in today's class, we would be discussing about 4 different classes, that is class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves and class Mammals. So let's get going with this chapter. Okay, everyone. So welcome once again to this Animal Kingdom lecture number 9. This is the final session of detailed lecture of this chapter, Animal Kingdom. We have one more, the second part of the NCERT marking series for Animal Kingdom left out. This is our amazing Telegram group, t.me/neat_biopoint. So don't forget to join if you are not a part of our Telegram group. Don't forget to hit the like button, do share it with your friends, and subscribe the amazing platform for more updates and lectures on biology. So let's get going with this chapter of subphylum Vertebrata superclass Tetrapoda. In the last class, we have already learned. Once again, let me remind you about the same class Vertebrata. Okay, once again, let me remind, vertebrates can be mainly classified into 2. What are the 2 classes of vertebrates? Vertebrates can be mainly classified into Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Okay, Gnathostomata. Agnatha means that lacks a jaw, and Gnathostomata means they have jaws. Agnatha is divided into class Cyclostomes. Okay, Agnatha is divided into class Cyclostomes. Whereas Gnathostomata, it is actually divided into 2. What are the 2? Superclass Pisces, that bear fins, and superclass Tetrapoda. Okay, class Pisces and class Tetrapoda. In the last class, we discussed about what are the characters and what are the classification of superclass Pisces. Pisces can be divided into 2, that is the cartilaginous fish, Chondrichthyes, and the bony fishes, which is the Osteichthyes. Tetrapoda can be classified into 4, okay, which we are discussing in today's class. It would be a very short session because only very few things are left out. That is Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and finally we would be discussing about the mammals. These organisms you have a common glance at. Okay, everyone. So this is Amphibia. Frog coming under, or toad is coming under an example for an amphibians. This is coming under Reptilia. Birds coming under class Aves, and animals, humans, everything coming under class Mammals. So these all constitute the superclass Tetrapoda, that they have 4 limbs. Okay, they have 4 limbs. That is why they are called Tetrapoda. First, let's discuss about superclass Tetrapoda and class Amphibia. Okay, so let's discuss about the class Amphibia first of all. Let's general characters. Amphibians, they live in aquatic and terrestrial habitat. Point number 1, which is most familiar. Amphibians means they have the ability to live in both land as well as water. They have the ability to live in both land as well as water. Body is divided into head and trunk, and some organisms have tail also. Look, frog doesn't have a tail. Frog doesn't have a tail. Okay, no tail. But certain organisms, they have a tail. So These organisms, their body is mainly divided into head and trunk, and some of them possess tail also. Very important point, moist skin without scales. Previous year NEET MCQ. Those group of class or class of animals with moist skin and without scale, that is class Amphibia. They have two pair of limbs. Tymphanum represents the tymphanum represents the ear. Okay, this is actually a small pore-like structure is over there, which indicates actually the tymphanum. Okay, that tymphanum itself act like what? Act like the ear. So I will zoom this diagram for you. This is the tymphanum. Look here also, this is the tymphanum. This structure is the tymphanum. Here you can see this is the tymphanum, and here this is the tymphanum. They have a three-chambered heart. Okay, all the amphibians, they have a three-chambered heart, that is two auricles and one ventricle. Okay, so guys, this red color is the ventricle. This orange color, this is the blood vessel. Okay, so this is the auricle. One more time, I will draw with different colors. Look, this black color which I am drawing is the auricle, right auricle. This is the left auricle. And next structure which I am going to indicate with a violet color, that is this structure is the ventricle. Okay, this violet colored structure is the ventricle. Okay, everyone. They are poikilotherms. In yesterday's class, we learned what is poikilotherms and what is homeotherms. Poikilotherms means they are cold-blooded animal. Poikilotherms means they are cold-blooded animals. They are cold-blooded animals. Okay, what do you mean by cold-blooded animals? They do not have the ability to maintain their internal body temperature constant. The alimentary canal, urinary, and the reproductive tract open into a portion called cloaca, which opens to the outside. Look, three different structures, that is the alimentary canal, the digestive system, the urinary system, excretory system, and the reproductive system, all opens into a same opening, all opens into a single opening, which is referred to as the cloaca. Okay, which is referred to as the cloaca. Respiration is by gills in larvae, skin and lungs in case of adult. Respiration through skin, we have already learned in this chapter. Respiration through skin, it is known as cutaneous respiration. Respiration through gills is known as cutaneous respiration. Neat important question. The sexes are separate, that is male is separate, female is separate. External fertilization, indirect development, and they are oviparous. Examples is very important. They are repeated previous year questions. Okay, everyone. So the example is Bufo, which is the toad, Rana, which is a frog, Hyla, tree frog, Salamandra, salamander, Ichthyopus, lymphless amphibian. Previous year NEET MCQ. Previous year NEET MCQ. Guys, all these are being asked, but repeatedly asked the question is Ichthyopus, lymphless amphibian. They'll give you Bufo, Rana, Hyla, Salamandra, Ichthyopus, and on the other side, they would give the other terms, which ask you to match the following. So Bufo is toad, Rana is frog, Hyla is tree frog, Salamandra, salamander, and Ichthyopus is a lymphless amphibian. Okay, look at all the examples, all the diagrams. You will see limbs over here. This is the opening. Tymphanum represents. This is a tymphanum. Rana, frog. Here it is Hyla. Then here salamandra, which is a salamander, and here Ichthyopus. So Ichthyopus is the only diagram where you cannot find any kind of limbs, even though it is coming under tetrapoda. It have all other character which is similar to amphibia. It is a lymphless amphibian. Okay. Next is class Reptilia. Next is class Reptilia. What are the general characters for Reptilia? Dry and cornified skin. Okay, they have a dry and cornified skin. Epidermal scales or scutes. Previous year NEET question. Dry and cornified skin are the characteristic property of class Reptilia. Snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. Two pairs of limbs, if present, they show crawling mode of locomotion. Here also tympanum. Look, tympanum represents the ear. Okay. So guys, snakes, everything comes under the phylum Reptilia. Looks, snakes, dangerous, right? This is a scutes. Okay, just like the scutes you may find on an alligator foot. So scutes or scales, dry and cornified skins. Look, sorry, dry and cornified skins you will observe. Okay, dry and cornified skin. Exactly, you will also see the skin cast. You might have also seen in the Discovery channels and all those things. Regarding the same, the snakes and all might you have been seeing, you might have seen in your home, nearby your areas of home, and also you might have seen about the skin cast of the snakes. Okay, next, they have a three-chambered heart. All the reptilia, they have a three-chambered heart, but heart is four-chambered in crocodile. Repeated question. Since it is an exception, NEET examiners or question preparers is always attached. They'll always get attracted towards exceptions. Like you will say, exception is this, exception is that. So in case of physics and chemistry also, it is in mostly in chemistry you will observe very much attracted, very much attached to the exceptional cases. Like in metals, the liquid non-metal, the liquid metal and all, they will be asking like this questions. Room temperature, which is soft and all those things they would be asking. So these are all some exceptions. So the exam preparer is always attached to this kind of exceptions question. Okay, so they are poikilotherms, that is cold-blooded. They have a well-developed alimentary canal, respiration by lungs, internal fertilization, oviparous, direct. What do you mean by oviparous and viviparous? Oviparous means egg laying. Snakes and all lay egg, right? Reptilian heart is this, reptilian lungs is this. Examples are snake and all those things. We would discuss about the examples right now. Chelon, which is a turtle. Chelon, which is a turtle. Testudo, which is a tortoise. Chameleon, tree lizard. Hemidactylus, wall lizard, important. Calots, that is a garden lizard. Crocodiles, crocodile and alligator are examples. Chelon is also important. Okay, Chelon, Testudo, and Hemidactylus, they are important. Others may be asked for the match the following, but not repeatedly asked. Two or three cases they have also been asked. This is an important one. Poisonous snakes. Naja, Bankerus, Viper. All these are poisonous snakes. While as there is an example of a non-poisonous snake in the NCERT, that is a python. Python is actually a non-poisonous snake. It can eat a human, but it is not like anaconda and all. They are not too much poisonous, but they'll eat human beings. They can cause harm for definitely, but they don't have the poison inside their mouth to inject into the persons. Okay, they'll swallow. They have the ability to swallow, but they cannot kill anyone by injecting the toxin. But Naja, Cobra, Crate and Viper, Bankerus and Viper, all these things have the ability to inject poison and kill. Okay. Next is the second last class, that is a class Aves. Presence of dry feathers and beaks. Sorry, presence of feathers and beak. Forelimbs are modified to wings. Dry skin without glands except the oil glands at the base of the tail. Hind limbs and scales are modified for walking, swimming, or clasping tree branch. Very important point. Long, hollow, pneumatic bone. Their bone is like this. There is now nothing inside the bone. But inside the bone of a human being, you will have cartilage, ligaments, tendons, all these things are. It might be filled with fluid matrix. Salt will be there. Everything will be there inside the bone of a human, a mammal. But in case of birds, hollow bones is there since which will facilitate it for flying. Tympanum represents the ear. They have a four-chambered heart. This is a warm-blooded animal group, homeotherm. So aves and mammals, they are what? Homeotherms. Digestive system has additional chambers, crop and gizzard. Right now you have to study it over here, but in case of cockroach, you will find crop and gizzard in there also. But it is not coming under apes, you have to give it an exception. Okay, so if a question comes like name the class which have crop and gizzard, then you have to go with any birds. Okay, any birds which is given. Homeotherms are those organisms that have the ability to maintain a constant body temperature. They show double respiration, actually double fertilization. Oh, sorry, not double fertilization, double circulation. Okay, double circulation. Okay, everyone. Air sacs connected to lungs, internal oviparous, direct development. So these are the air sac. This is the gizzard. This is the crop. Crop, gizzard. Okay. Example is corvus, Columbia pigeon, Sitacula, which is a parrot, Shrutio, ostrich, pavo, peacock, penguin, neophron, etc. are examples of class aves or the birds. You have to study both the common as well as the scientific term. Last but not the least, the last part of the chapter, Animal Kingdom, which is one of the lengthiest and one of the boring chapters for the beginners, but would become very easy for you as you keep practicing the questions. Class Mammalia. Presence of mammary glands. Core feature. Am I right? Core feature. Skin with hair, two pairs of limbs, external ear pinnae. Again, MCQ question. Okay, external ear pinnae. External ear pinnae. Mammary glands would be there. Look, external ear pinnae. Right? They have a four-chambered heart and they are homeotherms. They have a well-defined alimentary canal. Dentition is three different terms. Please note this down. The dentition of mammals is having three different features. Heterodont, thecodont, diphyodont. Right? Take the terms now. Take note of these terms. I would explain you what is heterodont, what is thecodont, what is diphyodont in the next class or the next chapter, that is digestive system. And in the first lecture, we have to study about this characteristic of human mammalian teeth. So you have to write down heterodont, thecodont, and diphyodont are examples or the type or specialities of human dentition or mammalian dentition. Respiration by lungs, they are viviparous animals. Example, echidna, except echidna and platypus. Echidna and platypus, they are oviparous. I'll show you the images of echidna and platypus. Echidna, platypus, duck-billed platypus. Right? Sorry. Echidna and platypus. Okay. They show oviparous. So exception. An oviparous mammal, platypus or echidna. Ornithorhynchus, platypus. Macropus, kangaroo, pterops. Flying fox, macaque. Monkey. Camelus, camel. Rattus, rat. Canis, dog. Felis, cat. Elephant, elephas. Delphinus, common dolphin. Balanoptera, blue whale. Equus, horse, panthera, tigris, tiger, panthera, leo, lion. So these are some of the common examples of class mammalian. Thus we have completed the whole chapter of Animal Kingdom. Happy everyone. If you have any doubt, we would be having a live doubt clearance session for sure. Then only otherwise, or else you can ask me in my Telegram. Okay, a quick recap of what we have learned so far. Just do that at fast. Okay, so we have divided the entire animals. Guys, the writings may have certain problems, but don't worry. Animals, we are directly dividing them into two, that is the non-chordates and the chordates. Right? What are non-chordates? Non-chordates that do not have a notochord, while chordates have a notochord. Non-chordates can be classified like porifera, pore-bearing animals. Next, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Ashhelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata. But I will be writing phylum Hemichordata also over here. Okay, Hemichordata. So these are the different classes of non-chordates. Okay, these are the different classes of non-chordates. I'll write the unique feature in phylum Porifera. You might have seen about the choanocyte. You might have seen about the choanocyte or the collar cells, then water canal system. Water canal system you might have seen. Coelenterata, they are also known as Cnidaria due to the presence of specialized cells called nidoblast or nidocyte. Ctenophora, they show bioluminescence. They show bioluminescence, 8 pairs of ciliated complates. 8 pairs of ciliated complates. Platyhelminthes, they are the flatworm. Ashhelminthes, important point, they are the roundworm or nemathelminthes or nematodes. They are pseudocoelomate. Next, Annelida, segmented one. First segmentation is observed in Annelida. Arthropoda, which is the first largest phylum. Mollusca, it is the second largest phylum. Echinodermata, they are the spiny skinned animals that show water vascular system. Water vascular system. Hemichordata, they are worm-like organism. Their excretion is through proboscis gland. Their excretion is through the proboscis gland. So these are some of the examples which you have to learn. Next, phylum Chordata, they can be divided into Agnatha and Anathostomata, which we have discussed earlier itself. Towards the beginning of the chapter itself, we have discussed about Agnatha and Anathostomata. Okay, is it clear? So let me tell you one important thing more, that is what are the things to study? What are the things to study? What are the things to study? Let's take a quick recap on that. Okay. The first thing which you have to study over here, that is the basis of classification. That is about all the subheadings you have to study. Cellular level of organization, the level of organization, symmetry, germ layers, coelomates, that is the nature of coelom, segmentation, notochord, everything you have to study. Number 2, the classes of phylum along with, okay, you have to study along with their features and examples. I would tell you seriously, examples. Okay, examples is very, very important. Okay, examples is highly, highly important. What are the next one you have to study? Number 3, you have to study all things which is related with what? Third thing, you have to study about the unique features. Okay, you have to study about the unique features of each phylum. Okay, each phylum you have to study about the unique features. Next, number 4, all diagrams given in NCERT. All diagrams given in NCERT, all common and biological terms of all organisms given in NCERT. Read NCERT 5 to 10 times at least. Before you attempt a test or whatever, you have to read the chapter at least 5 to 10 times. Then only make short notes. Make short notes and try to maintain 1-page notes. Do you know how to make 1-page notes? Just like take a fresh sheet of paper, just in that front, full scat paper or that bond white paper, you have to write all things of the chapter using different colors, highlighters, sticky notes, everything. You can make a 1-page note so that you can refer it at all times. Okay, next about the classes, about cyclostomes, mammalia, arthropoda. These are the areas from where you get questions continuously. For all time you get questions continuously from these areas. So these are the areas which you have to study, and that's all, guys. So bye-bye. See you in the next class. With one more NCERT marking would be there that we would do. Okay, everyone. So bye.